Under Paris is a gripping horror thriller that delves into the uncharted depths of fear and survival. The story begins with an ominous event. A mutant shark, which the marine scientist Sophia has been studying, ends up in the Seine. The shark, named Lilith by Sophia, becomes the center of an escalating series of events that turn Paris into a battleground between man and nature. The film opens with a panoramic view of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, a massive area of ocean filled with human debris. This stark visual sets the tone for the environmental themes that underlie the story. Marine scientist Sophia, dedicated to protecting marine life, is seen aboard a research vessel with her team. They are part of an ongoing mission to study and mitigate the effects of pollution on marine ecosystems. Sophia is a highly respected scientist known for her groundbreaking work in marine biology. She has devoted her life to understanding and preserving the ocean's fragile ecosystems. Her current project involves tracking a unique mako shark she has named Lilith. Lilith is not just any shark. She exhibits unusual behavior and characteristics that intrigue Sophia and her team. To monitor Lilith's movements, Sophia tagged her with a beacon that transmits real-time data. As the camera pans across the research vessel, viewers get a glimpse of the advanced equipment used by Sophia and her team. The vessel is equipped with state-of-the-art technology, including underwater drones, tracking systems, and a sophisticated laboratory for analyzing samples. The team is composed of highly skilled marine biologists, each bringing their expertise to the mission. Sophia and her team are currently focused on the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, a floating accumulation of plastic and other debris that poses a significant threat to marine life. The scene shifts to the team preparing for a dive to collect samples and observe the impact of the garbage patch on the local marine population. Sophia briefs her team, emphasizing the importance of their work and the need for caution. As they descend into the depths, the divers encounter various marine creatures struggling to navigate the polluted waters. Fish and turtles are seen entangled in plastic, and the team works diligently to free them. Amidst this somber scene, they receive a signal from Lilith's beacon. Sophia, intrigued by Lilith's movements, decides to follow the signal to understand better why the shark is in this area. The team dives deeper, guided by the beacon's signal. The underwater environment becomes increasingly eerie, with the visibility reduced due to the debris. Suddenly, the divers come across the body of a sperm whale, a majestic creature now lying lifeless with a massive bite mark. The sight is both tragic and alarming. The bite mark suggests a predator is responsible, but its size and ferocity leave the team in shock. Sophia and her team are experienced professionals, but this discovery shakes them. They had expected to find Lilith, but the presence of the whale's carcass hints at something far more dangerous. The team collects samples from the whale to analyze the bite mark and determine what could have caused such damage. They quickly realize they might be dealing with a predator unlike any they've encountered before. Continuing their dive, the team finally locates Lilith. The shark has grown significantly in size, far beyond the normal growth rate for her species. Her appearance is both awe-inspiring and terrifying. Lilith's eyes glow with an unnatural intensity, and her body shows signs of mutation, possibly due to prolonged exposure to pollutants in the garbage patch. Sophia is both fascinated and concerned. She instructs her teammate Chris to collect a sample from Lilith, despite the potential danger. Chris approaches cautiously, but as he attempts to take the sample, Lilith reacts violently. The water turns red as Lilith attacks, leading to a chaotic and bloody scene. Sophia and the remaining team members desperately try to save Chris, but their efforts are in vain. The traumatic event leaves Sophia devastated. The loss of her teammates and the violent encounter with Lilith profoundly affects Sophia. She decides to abandon her project, overwhelmed by guilt and grief. The film transitions to 3 years later, showing Sophia in a different light. She has distanced herself from her previous work, trying to move on from the traumatic incident. However, the problem resurfaces unexpectedly. 3 years after the tragic event, Sophia receives unexpected news. A group of young environmental activists, led by a passionate young woman named Mika, has formed a nonprofit organization called Save Our Seas. They have been using beacons similar to the ones Sophia used to track and protect sharks. Mika and her team are dedicated to ensuring that marine life is safe and monitored. Sophia is initially skeptical but agrees to meet with Mika. During their meeting, Mika explains that they have been tracking Lilith and other sharks using the beacons. Mika believes that climate change and pollution have forced these sharks to adapt in unprecedented ways. She presents evidence suggesting that Lilith has made it to the Seine River, an idea that Sophia initially finds hard to believe. Mako sharks are saltwater creatures, and the thought of one surviving in freshwater seems impossible. However, Mika's data and passion begin to convince Sophia. Despite Mika's convincing arguments, the local authorities are not easily swayed. The police, led by Sergeant Adil, decide to dive into the scene to investigate the potential threat. Sophia decides to accompany Adil and his team, understanding the danger that Lilith could pose. Mika, worried that the police will kill the shark on sight, takes drastic measures. With the help of her partner Ben, she turns off Lilith's beacon to protect her. The dive into the scene is tense. The water is murky and visibility is low. As the team explores, they find evidence of Lilith's presence: disturbed sediment, unusual fish behavior, and even a few unexplained injuries among the local fish population. Despite the danger, no one is harmed during the dive, but the tension is palpable. Adil and his team are now convinced that there is indeed a shark in the scene, and they need to find a way to safely direct it back to the ocean. Back on the surface, tensions rise between Sophia and Mika. Sophia tries to explain the complexities of the situation to Mika, but the young activist is driven by her passion and distrust of the system. The heated argument culminates in Mika accusing Sophia of being responsible for the fatal attack 3 years ago. This accusation deeply affects Sophia, who already carries immense guilt. Realizing that she cannot reason with Mika, Sophia walks out, leaving the young activist frustrated and determined to continue her mission. Sophia and Adil join forces to develop a plan to rescue Lilith and ensure the safety of the people. They have only a week before the Triathlon Championship, an event that will bring thousands of people to the scene. The mayor of Paris, however, refuses to postpone the event. She believes that a military presence will be enough to control the situation and is more concerned with her public image and the financial implications of canceling the triathlon. Despite the mayor's dismissal of the threat, she allows Sophia and Adil to create a plan. Without the beacon, Sophia proposes using bait to lure Lilith and then tranquilize her. Once sedated, they plan to transfer her to the Port de l'Arsenal locks, where the Oceanography Institute will handle her release back into the ocean. Just as Sophia finalizes her plan, Ben arrives, pleading for her help. He reveals that Mika has taken to social media, rallying the public to support her efforts to guide Lilith to the ocean using sonar. Mika has gathered a group of activists and citizens, and they're heading to the old catacombs where Lilith is believed to be hiding. The narrow entrance to the catacombs is a significant concern, as any sudden disaster could cause panic and block the only exit. Sophia and the police rush to the catacombs, hoping to prevent a disaster. They find a large crowd gathered, and Sophia urges them to evacuate slowly. Mika, however, begs them to stay, convinced they are close to attracting Lilith. Using sonar, Mika successfully lures Lilith and her baby to the catacombs. The sight of the shark and her offspring is both awe-inspiring and terrifying. Sophia pleads with Mika not to touch the baby shark, warning her of the potential danger. Mika, determined to prove that sharks are not dangerous, ignores Sophia's warnings and caresses the baby shark. Sophia believes they have invaded Lilith's nest and repeatedly urges Mika to leave the water. Despite Adil's attempts to save her, Mika resists, and Lilith attacks, swallowing Mika whole. Panic ensues as the crowd tries to escape. Many fall into the water, and Lilith attacks them as they try to climb out. Sophia had predicted this massacre, but her warnings went unheeded. She blames herself for the deaths, but Adil reassures her that she did her best to protect them. In the aftermath, Sophia examines Lilith's baby, who was killed during the chaos. She discovers signs of adaptation, organs that help the shark adjust to different salinities and protrusions for navigating freshwater. Sophia realizes that they are dealing with a new species, not just a species of mako shark. This species has adapted in extraordinary ways, including the ability to reproduce through parthenogenesis, allowing them to multiply rapidly even in unfavorable conditions. Sophia's discovery is both groundbreaking and terrifying. These sharks pose a massive threat to human life due to their adaptability and rapid reproduction. Sophia and Adil understand that they must act quickly to prevent further tragedy. They approach the mayor again, hoping to convince her to cancel the triathlon and address the shark threat seriously. However, the mayor remains stubborn, blaming Sophia and Adil for not containing the situation earlier. She refuses to publicly acknowledge the shark threat, concerned only with her image and the money invested in the event. Frustrated but undeterred, Sophia and Adil decide to take matters into their own hands. They are both haunted by past failures. Adil by his experiences in the army, where he abandoned his team in Burkina Faso, and Sophia by the loss of her team to Lilith. Determined to prevent further loss of life, they gather a small, trusted team willing to take on the dangerous mission of dealing with Lilith and her offspring. With just a few hours before the triathlon begins, Sophia and Adil's team prepares for their mission. They plan to bomb the nest in the crypt where the sharks have taken refuge. They work with explosive experts to ensure the operation is as safe and effective as possible. As the rest of Paris celebrates, unaware of the impending danger, Sophia and her team are focused on their mission. The team enters the crypt with the explosives, navigating the dark, narrow passages with caution. The atmosphere is tense, and every sound echoes ominously. As they set the explosives, they realize the true scale of the problem. They are not dealing with just a few sharks, but hundreds. The sharks have already begun to multiply at an alarming rate, confirming Sophia's worst fears. The situation takes a turn for the worse when one of the explosives fails to activate. The sharks, sensing the human's presence, become aggressive. In the chaos, Poicard, one of the team members, is attacked and killed by the sharks. Sophia urges her team to stick together and avoid sudden movements, but Adama, another team member, bravely attempts to fix the faulty explosive. He too is killed, leaving the team in disarray. Adil struggles to keep the team focused as Sophia helps him swim to the surface. They realize that Lilith and her offspring are heading towards the swimmers preparing for the triathlon. Sophia and Adil rush to warn the authorities and prevent catastrophe. As the triathlon begins, chaos erupts when Lilith attacks the swimmers. Panic spreads rapidly and the military intervenes, but their lack of coordination with local police leads to a disastrous outcome. The police, aware of live shells in the scene, warn the military to cease fire, but their warnings go unheeded. The gunfire triggers explosions, destroying bridges and causing massive flooding. People flee in terror, but with the water rising, escape becomes nearly impossible. Amidst the chaos, Sophia searches desperately for Adil. She finds him critically injured but alive. As they survey the scene, sharks swim menacingly around them. Sophia and her team have failed to contain the situation, and the sharks' adaptability suggests they will continue to multiply and spread globally. The final scene is a harrowing reminder of humanity's impact on the environment and the potential consequences of ignoring nature's warnings. The ending of Under Paris is bleak yet thought-provoking. As the credits roll, a map shows the projected spread of the new shark species across the globe. This visual reinforces the film's environmental message and serves as a commentary on the controversy surrounding the 2024 Olympics in Paris. Parisians have voiced concerns about the government's use of taxpayer money and the disruption caused by the Games. But these issues are overshadowed by the larger environmental crisis depicted in the film. Under Paris leaves viewers with a powerful message about the importance of respecting and protecting the natural world. The film highlights the potential consequences of environmental neglect and the need for urgent action to address these issues. Through the character of Sophia, the film also explores themes of guilt, redemption, and the relentless pursuit of scientific truth, even in the face of overwhelming odds.